Hell's Diary 4, The Forgotten Feast. January 2nd. There's a smell here now. I didn't notice it at first. It slipped in quietly like everything else in this cursed place. It's sweet, cloying, almost pleasant, but there's rot buried beneath it, the way a bowl of fruit spoils from the inside out. I've smelled death before, and this is worse. The walls feel closer today. I swear they weren't this tight yesterday, as if the space is shrinking, slowly wrapping around me like a cocoon. The fires burn low, casting shadows that flicker and twitch like they have minds of their own. I asked one of the others if they noticed the smell. He just looked at me with wide, empty eyes and said, "The feast begins soon." Then he started to laugh, a horrible, wet sound that didn't stop, even as the tears streamed down his face. I tried to ask what he meant, but he just kept laughing. January 3rd. The smell is getting stronger. It clings to everything, the walls, my skin, even my thoughts. No matter how far I walk, it follows me. Sweet, rotten, a scent that seeps into the cracks of your mind, filling the spaces where fear usually lives. I saw something today. It was quick, just a flicker at the edge of my vision, but I know it wasn't my imagination. A figure, hunched and gaunt, dragging itself along the corridor. Its skin was stretched too thin, like it had been pulled taut over bones that didn't belong. I only caught a glimpse before it disappeared into the shadows, but it was enough. There's something here. Something waiting. And I think the feast has already begun. January 4th. I followed the figure today. It moved slowly, limbs jerking in strange, unnatural ways, as though it didn't fully understand how to control its body. I kept my distance, watching as it dragged itself deeper into the corridors, leaving a slick, wet trail behind it. The smell grew stronger the closer I got, sickly sweet, mixed with decay. It wasn't just the scent of rot, it was hunger. A deep, gnawing hunger that twisted in my stomach, making my mouth water even as I gagged on the stench. And then I saw them. More figures, all bent and broken, slithering out from the cracks in the walls. They were gathering, their hollow eyes fixed on a door at the end of the corridor, a door that shouldn't be there. The feast is real, and I think they've saved me a seat. January 5th. I found the door again. It's different from the others I've seen here, larger, carved from dark wood, with symbols etched deep into the surface. Symbols that shift when I look at them, twisting and coiling like snakes. The smell is overwhelming now, pouring from the cracks in the doorframe like thick smoke. I shouldn't open it. Every instinct I have is screaming at me to turn around, to run. But I can't. The door pulls at me like a hook buried deep in my chest, dragging me closer and closer. There's something behind that door, something waiting, and I'm afraid it's hungry. January 6th. I opened the door. The room beyond was vast, too large to fit within the corridors of this place, as though the walls had stretched outward to make space for what lay inside. Long tables lined the room, draped in fine, rotting cloth, covered with platters piled high with food, or at least what used to be food. The dishes were filled with meat, gray and slimy, slick with congealed blood. Fruits swollen and blackened with rot sat in bowls, their skins split open, oozing foul juices. And at the far end of the room, there was a throne carved from bone. Something sat on it. It smiled when it saw me. The thing on the throne was vast and bloated, its skin stretched tight over a body that bulged in all the wrong places. Its face was a mockery of humanity. Eyes too wide, lips too thin, teeth too sharp. It wore a crown of bones that jutted from its scalp, and its grin was stained red with blood. It gestured for me to sit, and I realized the tables were lined with figures just like the ones I'd followed, hollow-eyed, gaunt, chewing mindlessly on the rotting food laid before them. This wasn't just a feast. It was a ritual, and I was the guest of honor. The thing on the throne spoke, its voice a low, rasping whisper that slithered into my mind. "Eat," it said. "Join the feast. Taste the gifts of the forgotten." The others at the table watched me, their jaws working mechanically as they chewed and swallowed, never stopping, never blinking. I wanted to run, but my legs wouldn't move. The scent of the food overwhelmed me, filling my lungs, drowning my thoughts. And then the hunger hit me. It was sudden, violent, an ache so deep it felt like my stomach was folding in on itself. I clutched my abdomen, gasping, as the thing on the throne leaned closer. "You are empty," it whispered, "but we can fill you." I don't remember sitting down, but I must have. The hunger was too strong. It clawed at my insides, burning through me like fire. And before I knew it, my hands were moving, grabbing, tearing, shoving the rotting food into my mouth. It tasted like ash and spoiled meat, but I couldn't stop. The hunger demanded more. The thing on the throne watched, its grin widening with every bite I took. The others at the table smiled too, their hollow eyes gleaming with approval. I ate until my stomach bulged, until my throat burned, until my vision blurred. And still, the hunger remained. The feast never ends. I've lost count of the days. The food is endless, the hunger insatiable. No matter how much I eat, I'm always starving, always aching, always empty. The others at the table eat in silence, their jaws working tirelessly, chewing and swallowing and chewing again. They don't speak, they don't stop, and neither do I. I think I understand now. This isn't just a feast, it's a prison. The hunger isn't a curse, it's a sentence. We're the forgotten, the ones who slip through the cracks, lost to time and memory. And this is our punishment, to eat and eat and eat, until there's nothing left of us but hunger. The thing on the throne watches, always smiling, always waiting. It knows the truth, the hunger never ends. Because we aren't just eating the food, we're eating ourselves.